Hi there, students. A contradiction in terms. Okay, a contradiction in terms is something that doesn't make sense because some of the words in how you're defining this are the opposite of others. So you might consider that an honest politician is a contradiction in terms. A working vacation would be a contradiction in terms. So it's a phrase that contains words which have very different or opposite meanings. So you're going to say this is an oxymoron. And I think loosely today an oxymoron is a contradiction in terms. Although with the word an oxymoron, a purist would say that an oxymoron is when two opposite words are put together to juxtapose the two words, to contrast them, to give effect. So, for example, parting is such sweet, sweet sorrow. Okay, this is clearly an oxymoron, sweet sorrow, and this is used for effect. A contradiction in terms may just be the way something is called, and not necessarily an oxymoron, although yes, you could say that a contradiction in terms is an oxymoron. Okay, so green oil, or green oil industry. I think these two are a complete contradiction in terms. I don't think the oil industry can be green. I think maybe it could be less polluting, but I don't think it's ever green. I think that is a contradiction in terms. A subtle thriller. So a thriller is really exciting and maybe it's obvious what's happening. If it's subtle, it's not obvious, and maybe it's not really such a such a good phrase. As I said, a working vacation or a working holiday. Either you're working or you're on holiday. Yes, it's a contradiction in terms because I can understand how you could have a working holiday. You've got some work to do, but you've also got time for a holiday, and that again, a contradiction in terms. Public services run for a profit. Yeah, that's a contradiction in terms. Yeah, if it's a public service, it's for the good of the public, and you're not supposed to be making money from it. So it's not a public service because it's profitable. Almost exactly. It's almost exactly 6 o'clock. So that's clearly a contradiction in terms. You might call it an oxymoron as well. That is terribly good. Well, is it terrible or good? But we use this word terribly to say that with the meaning of extremely. I think you might call terribly good a dead metaphor. Okay, so I think an oxymoron is drawing your attention to a paradox. Yeah, bittersweet. Yeah, to be cruel, to be kind. Yeah, a silent scream. These are to draw attention. They are juxtaposing the concepts to draw attention and to illustrate the point. I think a contradiction in terms is just something more general. So is airline food a contradiction in terms? Yeah, is what they serve on the aeroplane food, or is it just something else? Well, a contradiction in terms. It's just two opposites. It's a phrase that causes confusion because the words or ideas contradict each other. Yeah, a wealthy pauper. No. A straight talking politician. He's a straight talking politician. Well, it could be, yeah, because he talks straight, and this is not something that politicians normally do, but it's not impossible. Yeah? Or how about a veggie burger? Yeah? A burger, by definition, is made of meat, isn't it? I don't know. A vegetable patty, definitely. A peace offensive. Yeah? Definitely a contradiction in terms. Okay, so a contradiction in terms is where you're using different things or different ideas to describe the same thing. And yes, I think you could use an oxymoron as a synonym for this. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. A contradiction in terms. It's an oxymoron.